And in 1903, they finally did it. They soared through the sky for 12 seconds and 180 feet.
Hi, my name's Devon. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way. I only know the hard way.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. I'm Devon Dickinson. Today I want to tell you a story that happened this week. It was Monday. Got a bunch of our folks together and we were going to have a debrief on this project that we've been working super hard on for the last 2 months. And it might even be a little longer than that. I bet you it's been about 10 weeks since we started this project. And we got together, we got all the brains in the room, and we talked about, some of the successes we've had, a lot of the challenges and failures we've had. And at the end of the meeting, I was very energized. But I noticed that the rest of the room was kind of like dead and like discouraged. And I was like I was asking them questions. Like I couldn't figure out why they weren't as excited as I was, because we had a couple successes. And finally someone, they spoke up and they're like, well, Devon, we've worked on this for like 8 or 10 weeks and we only have like a handful of, victories, and some of them are like half baked, we haven't even crossed the finish line on, some initial wins. We don't really have a lot of great wins. We only have like some small little victories here and there. And are you sure we want to keep doing this? And I was like, unbelievable. I was like, of course we want to keep doing this. I was so excited because I had vision of what could be. And I stopped everybody and I was like, guys, I'm going to give you an analogy here, right? Like, so in 1903, so as I film this, we're in 2023. In 1903, the Wright brothers had their very first flight. Right. And this wasn't, listen, they were trying for a long time. This wasn't like the first time they ever tried something, immediately they were flying. They were working on this project of of sailing through the air with no strings attached. They had this idea, this vision of flight, and they were working on it for years. And in 1903, they finally did it. They soared through the sky for 12 seconds and 180 feet. I say it like that because I want you to understand that flight was birthed by going for 12 seconds and 180 feet. Like 180 feet is like a football field is 300 feet, right? So this was like, less than 2/3 of a football field. You can almost throw a paper plane that far, right? And 12 seconds, 1,001, 1,002, you get it, right? 12 seconds is not a long time. But you see, they had vision. Once they saw that they were able to maintain flight, in their minds, they knew what was possible. And this was what I was trying to communicate to everyone around the table. I'm like, yeah, like it's been terrible. It's been hard. It's been a lot of work. We've been grinding. We've been evolving. We've been working, but we achieved flight. Was it pretty? No. Did we have great, wild successes? No. But was it akin to what the Wright brothers did in 12 seconds, 180 feet? Absolutely. Because I guarantee you there were people there that day when they flew 12 seconds, they were like, all that work and the best we could do is 12 seconds. Let's quit. Not the Wright brothers. They had a vision of what could happen. And this is how businesses start, right? It's like you get a proof of concept and you go, okay, we can do this, right? If you can get, 10 customers, you can probably get 100. If you can get 100, you can probably get 1,000. If you get 1,000, you probably get 100,000. Right now, I tell you the story about the Wright brothers in 1903 because, again, as I told you, it's now 2023. So that's 120 years. You say 120 years is a long time. I don't think 120 years is a long time at all. I'm 51 years old. Believe me, 120 years is not a long time. My grandmother lived to be like 83, 84. I don't know what it was, but I would tell her in one lifetime of my grandma and a half, in that amount of time, we went from a 12-second flight to I was just in the airport. And while I was there, I was reading this article that now in 2025, they have a jet, a commercial jet, not some fighter, a commercial jet that we can hop on in New York City and take from New York City to London in an hour and a half. It actually goes up somehow, and I don't know how all physics and all this works, but what I read is it actually somehow goes up out of the atmosphere and then vroom, back down the other side. Not in 90 minutes, you're from New York to London. 12 seconds and 180 feet. Now, 120 years of hard work now gets you 90 minutes from New York to London. But that's because the Wright brothers and people like them had vision and said, if we can do this, if we have this success, how far can we take it? How can we iterate on it? Where can we grow it to? What can we become? What could our dreams soar to? And so coming back to my story, I said, hey team, has this first 10 weeks been hard? Yes. Has it been challenging? Yes. Have we had to iterate? Yes. Are we going to have to evolve? Yes. Are we going to have to work hard? Yes. Is it going to take time? Yes. But I said, what is this thing going to look like? What is this project if we don't quit, if we continue to meet, if we continue to work hard, if we continue to train, continue to iterate, continue to be creative? What is this going to look like 18 months from now? I bet you in 18 months, we go from basically what the Wright brothers did with 12 seconds, 120 years, 90 minutes later, you're flying across the ocean. We can do that in 18 months. But as a team, we have to believe and we have to have vision. Instead of looking and saying, geez, this didn't meet our expectations and all these hopes and dreams, because I'm sure the Wright brothers, when they flew, they wanted to go further than 180 feet. But instead of them dwelling on the fact that they only went 180 feet, that they only went 12 seconds in the air, they marveled at the fact, and they dreamed of what they could do because they achieved flight. In your companies, let me challenge you to have this type of perspective. Rather than think about, oh, we never achieved this, or it's been such a hard slog, or we've only done this. Instead of focusing on that, how about you realize what you've created? How about you realize the opportunities that have been birthed from what you started? How about you realize the hurdles that you've overcome? And how about you work hard, iterate, dream, have creativity, and think about and have vision for where you can go. I'm Devon, and this is Whiteboard Entrepreneur. And I want you to take this lesson, not just for motivation, but I want you to take this back to your team, to your company, to your dreams, to what you're working on. And I want you to apply these principles to your life, because continuing to iterate, continue to have that vision of what can be, and allowing time and hard work and applying that to what you're working on today. If you apply this today, I know it's going to help. This is Whiteboard Entrepreneur.